To be honest, if someone had to tell me to act as dumb as possible, I wouldn't have to change much, to be honest. So I think I'm sweet. So welcome to another episode of Sludge Underground. I've got Kaylee with me. Kaylee, introduce yourself and what it is you do.
Hi, my name is Kaylee. My stage name is Daisy Arson. So I make music that is like I would call it like slightly alternative pop. Um, Not anything too heavy. But yeah, I started my music career in August, and here I am now.
I think the closest thing that I could think of is hyperpop was the first thing that came to mind when I was listening to it. Are there any
Hmm.
influences from there?
No, definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of musicians like 100 Gex, Sophie, more of the big names when it comes to hyperpop. Um, and what I really love about hyperpop and its influence on my music is that it's like my music is more pop than hyperpop because hyperpop can be a little bit like crazy sometimes. So yeah, there is definitely an influence.
You said you started this in August. Is that August last year?
Yes.
And like, were you doing music before that? Is that something that you were doing prior to this, and then you just launched your music career from there? Walk me through what your sort of like experience with the music scene has been so far.
I'm very lucky because my partner, Estian Smith, he's been in a lot of bands and he's been doing music for a very long time. I only really started music early last year because I started making the song Congratulations. And that took quite a long time because we were still figuring out the music video and the mixing and all of that, trying to find like my sound. I was trying to get comfortable with like singing and performing and stuff like that. So I come from a theater background, but yeah, near the end of last year, I was like, you know what, maybe let me just release my song, let me not do 500 different versions of the song and then remake a music video and all of that. Like at the end of the day, it's just for fun. So,
You're saying that your partner does music as well, and you were
mhm.
doing theater. I'm assuming that had like a big impact on how you sort of approach this. I mean, for instance, like when I started out doing music, I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I had no experience. I had no background in any sort of like performing art, and I've even to this day, I'm still winging it. So I really like. Would you say that that's had a more positive impact on how you've approached it in general?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, even when it comes to my music stuff, I think that it's very like gimmick heavy, like it's aesthetics heavy and performance heavy. Because I did vocal coaching for theater. Um, well, I got vocal coaching. I didn't do vocal coaching. I didn't teach people. But yeah, I just finished my degree in theater, so I did a lot of music making and a lot of ensemble work and all of that, costuming and things like that. So then, as soon as I started making music, then I was like, you know what, let me bring that in. Um, yeah, yeah, that's had a huge impact. Also on my comfortability as well, because I think that even though I haven't done any official gigs yet or done any official performances, I think I'm very comfortable to start doing that because I am so comfortable on stage.
Yeah, it definitely makes a huge difference. I mean, if you were trained for it and you have the experience for it, I have some incredibly awkward memories on stage as a teenager, and just not understanding or knowing what I should be doing with myself. And
Mm.
yeah, it became very awkward from times. I've had some pretty funny stories, and it's really cool that those skills all translate. Like, theater isn't what a lot of people like expect it to be. It's not as I think a lot of people look at it as something that's easy, but I don't think it is at all.
Oh,
I mean,
theater is so hard. It's so
yeah,
hard. No, I mean, I've been acting since I was a kid. I think I started doing theater when I was like maybe 10. And it's very tough. It's very tough even just studying theater, being in a group of 50 people, and then they're like, okay, I want you to act as and crawl around on the ground and then say the script, and then you just completely like release your inhibitions, and then eventually you become comfortable just acting out and being a persona on stage.
To be honest, if someone had to tell me to act as dumb as possible, I wouldn't have to change much, to be honest. So I think I'm. And then like, and then the stage name being Daisy Arson. Where did that come from? Is it, is it like rooted in something that inspired you with your music career, or that where did walk me through where that name came from?
So it's a funny story. When I was in maybe grade seven, grade eight, I had a small group of friends. We were like maybe three or four people, and then we sat there and we were like, okay, we want to make a band, which obviously never happened because none of us knew how to play instruments or anything, or were singers or anything. So then I took my notebook. I was trying to come up with different band names and things like that. And then trying to come up with band names, I came up with cool like stage personas. So for the band, the names that I landed on was things like Junkyard Planet or like Fluff Notion or things like that. And then it changed into like Rose Opium, and then I landed on Daisy Arson, and I was like, that's really cool, but that's not going to work for a band name. And then we went with some dumb name, and then I just kept that in my notebook. And then when I started making music again, I was like, that was a pretty cool name. I should use that. Um, yeah, so that's where that came from.
So you're not secretly an arsonist.
No, no, of course not. But who doesn't like setting things on fire? It's
Yeah,
fun. As long as it's not
you
illegal, it's fun.
fair enough, fair enough, fair
Oh,
enough. I'm gonna agree with you on that. And then like
fun.
you were saying, like you create personas and stuff like that. What is the persona of Daisy Arson? What is her character?
So Daisy Arson is, I would say that it's somebody who's like very like troubled on the inside, but it comes out in like this strangely like polite and like awkward way. And it's also very like, I don't know, there's something about the character that seems very wholesome, but there's something that's off about it. Also the inspiration with the Donnie Darko, the hat with the long ears. I think that it's very much inspired by artists like Poppy, who also has a very distinct persona. It's wholesome but creepy in a way. I want to make it more creepy. Right now, it's just been pretty wholesome, I have to say.
Fair enough, fair enough. It sounds almost like it's like bordering like the going down the uncanny valley type of route where like it's everything seems right but kind of not.
Definitely what I want to go for.
Cool. And then how would you say that translates into the music? Like lyrically, what sort of topics are you tackling? Are you talking about?
Wow. So with the song so far, Road Hitter not so much. Road Hitter was more of just being too late for something, not really being like on time, and just missing the mark every single time. With my other two songs, Battlefield is about like struggle with depression and suicide. And then Congratulations is a very hard struggle with like a past relationship that I was in. So the Daisy Arson lyrics so far have been quite dark. Road Hitter has definitely been a lot lighter, but it's always those sort of themes, and then it's juxtaposed with like this light, happy song in the background, and then the lyrics are like super dark. So
Me personally, I've always been a fan of those type of things. It's like that, like you said, that sort of contradiction between even like the music videos have like kind of that sort of happy, like sort of go lucky vibe to them, and
mm,
but there's always that darker undertone. Me personally, I've always enjoyed that in music. I've always enjoyed darker undertones. I'm not sure if it's been the same for you. If you've always been looking for like other, alternative meanings in songs, or like sort of if that's something that stuck with you as well.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the essence of what I enjoy as art is very dark. I love horror movies and I love sort of more darker, grungier music. I love metal. And those are things that are always sort of governed by a more like um, a darker space, you know? So it's always been things that I enjoy. And I think that that kind of just leaks through in my music. I mean, all of the theater productions that I always did were always very, very creepy and very weird. You know, it was I've all the ones that I've directed and that I've made always have that sort of element to it, and all the art that I've ever made has that element to it.
Okay, and so you're saying that you've directed like plays and stuff as well, like theater productions.
Yeah, my favorite one that I did was last year as I was ending my studies. I made a adaptation of a book of poetry called Voices of This Land. And it was made by a bunch of different authors. It's fantastic if you want to go and read it. And then I made this play that had two people both stuck in like a very delusional state, and there was this gorgeous performance which was inspired by Japanese theater of darkness called Buto theater. Um, and yeah, it was very creepy and very weird, but I got good marks for it. So
So all that counts, really.
yes,
That's really interesting, and like it's you have like such a cool set of skills that is easily like translatable to music in general, which I do think is incredibly helpful for any artist. Because like a lot of
thank you.
guys don't realize that they have skills that they can translate into their music, and
Mm,
either whether it be promoting their music or doing something interesting with their music, something outside of the box, not necessarily just writing the music. So it's
mm.
it's cool that you've like implemented all of those skills in various different ways.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you've got to use what you have. It's what makes you interesting.
And then like with having started in August, like what are your plans moving forward? Are you looking at releasing new music? You said you haven't like played an official show yet. Uh, how are you sort of going about moving forward? Like, are you focusing mainly on social media? Are you looking at mostly performing shows? Like, what's your sort of plan moving forward?
So I would love to perform shows, given the right setup and everything. But right now, I've got the two music projects happening in tandem. So there's Doom Fairy, and then there's Daisy Arson. And with Daisy Arson, I have a very cool song that I'm currently finishing with the mixing process and everything. And then there's going to be a really cool music video for that. And then I have about three or four other songs in the pipeline with Daisy Arson. And then with Doom Fairy, there's a crazy amount of music that we're busy with right now. That project is just moving and skyrocketing all at the same time, like quickly.
And what is Doom Fairy? Tell me more about that.
So Doom Fairy is it's a hard step project between me, Regan from Facing the Gallows, Hanu from The Narrow, and Emil from The Narrow. So we sort of congregated in December. It's a very new project. And then we said, okay, we want to have elements of softer vocals and like sweeter vocals and higher vocals, and then also contrasted with that like heavy drops and like Regan's vocal style and Hanu's vocal style. So it's techno hard step together.
Yeah, that was just like you just dropped some like powerful names there, like that's with
Yeah.
Regan and the guys from the Narrow as well. Like that that is something I would definitely be interested in hearing. Good God,
Yes,
like,
I mean,
that's not something I
I
would expect.
yeah, we just released a song in a music video.
What? I didn't see Regan post anything about this. Is it
It's
still
been
like?
all
Is it still one of
over
the
his No, it's been all over his social media. He's been posting it on his story.
fucking algorithms just don't show me shit? Like, spent 80% of my life staring at local musicians and what they're doing, and it still doesn't tell me shit. Like, and what, like, speaking on that, like, what are your thoughts on, like, as an artist and someone who's starting, launching their music career and using social media to promote yourself, what has your experience with that been? What are the things about it that frustrate you?
Well, I mean, my experience has been really great. I mean, the growth that I've seen on my Instagram, like I think I have like 350 followers on Daisy Arson, and then Doom Fairy has like 150 followers, which just started. And then on my personal page, like I've met some really cool people and some really cool artists through social media. And at the end of the day, my day job is I'm a video editor, and I'm an ad like director. So I just, I'm just having fun with my music and stuff. Doom Fairy will definitely play some cool shows this year, which I'm very excited about. I hope that we do. Um, yeah, no, my experience on social media has been great. I haven't gotten negative feedback. I haven't gotten any haters. So at this point, still very much cushioned and happy.
Fantastic. Like, 'cause look, I find that like having a small following on social media is okay if that small group of people is interacting with you. Because I see a
Mm.
lot of creators who have like managed to, whether it be through like just jippoing the system or paying for it, and they've got these massive followings, but no one interacts with them. So it's kind of like a fucking ghost town.
Yeah, it's
But if you have like
crazy.
a couple of hundred followers, but a whole bunch of those people are interacting with you, you're already doing somewhat better than the person with like 10,000 followers and has just pissed everyone off.
No, I
Like,
mean, something that's crazy for me is even Road Hitter, that song, it's gotten a crazy amount of streams. Let me open up my Spotify for artists so I can tell you. It's gotten 2,668 streams. And it came out like, I don't know, like a month ago. Like it's crazy, like a lot of my followers are my friends. That's Estian. Hello.
nice to meet you, brother.
And yeah, it's been crazy, like the amount of love and support that I've gotten.
No, that's absolutely insane. Like, and one thing I wanted to touch on is like you said you're a fan of Poppy.
Mm.
Are you interested in doing like some of the stuff that she's been doing in terms of collaborating with like heavier bands and just bringing in
Oh
that
yes.
kind of
Oh,
sound? Because
definitely.
that would be pretty cool.
Definitely. I think that what I'm doing right now with Doom Fairy, it would be so cool if we can bring some of those elements in because Poppy has also established herself as being a serious artist that is really involved in like the scene. I mean, even her newest music video, "This Is My Church Outfit." Well, maybe it's not her newest one, but it's the newest one that I've seen. It has some really cool like heavier like music in it that touches a little bit, and I just love what she did in that music video. It's the black and white one.
I don't think I've actually had the chance to see that yet. I'm gonna go check it out after this. And did you haven't released any music this month, right?
Well, with Doom Fairy, yes, but not with Daisy Arson.
Because this month has been crazy. I don't know if you've been like if you've checked out with social media recently. Like, as everyone has decided to drop music this April. Like,
I know, and I
it's
love it.
been
I love it. I'm
it's just
having
been
a
like a
great
wild
time.
roller coaster, and I've just been like, I'm struggling to keep up, lads. What did we all just unanimously decide? Like, did I miss the memo? What happened? Like,
I think it's definitely because we're coming out of COVID now, and we're coming out of the slump that COVID put everybody in. Um, and properly hanging out with people again, going out again, going to shows, making it happen, and making music as well. So I'm really excited.
yeah, and then like, how what are your thoughts about the current state of like the South African music scene and where it's heading? Like, what are the things that you love about it, and what are the things that you think could improve?
So right now, people want to go to shows and people want to go out and people want to see their favorite artists perform. I've seen a big influx of like a lot of the spaces that I go to see bands perform at just getting fuller and fuller. And for that, I'm very happy because that's the quickest and most effective way to support a band is to go and watch them and buy merchandise and pay for tickets and stuff like that. Right now in the South African music scene, I'm seeing a big rise in also sort of like more alternative, like grungy pop, like Ian Nixon and Hendrik Blake music. I think that I pronounced that right. I just know them from Instagram, but it's yeah, I'm loving it. I'm seeing like a big rise and people kind of coming out of their boxes and then trying to make it happen.
And then yeah, in closing, where can people find you? Where can people find your music and what it is you're going to be doing?
So they can find me on Instagram at Kaylee Mocha, Kaylee SD Mocha. So that's my personal page, and then they can also find me at Daisy Arson Music, or at Doom Fairy to go and watch everything that's happening there. Yeah, and then on Spotify, I am on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube. The YouTube channel could definitely use some love to go and watch those videos.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it as well myself, as from my little incursions there to check it out. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, and I hope you have a fantastic day further.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's
And
been an
yeah,
absolute pleasure,
you
my dude.
have a great day.
Oh, cheers, all the best.
Thank you. Bye.